All right, that is better. I hear you.
Hello. Hey.
God, hey, I had to pull over. Oh my God. Yay, I can
Hey, you look
hear.
so
Praise
cute.
God. I'm fine. Okay, that's a lot better. Okay. Whew. I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't hear anything. So I'm glad that I got you guys. Yeah, absolutely. Because I was like,
Okay.
oh my God, I couldn't hear nothing.
Me
Well,
neither.
hi, everyone. Yay. This is
That's
really
cool.
great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Happy, what is it, Wednesday?
Happy
Happy
Wednesday.
Wednesday, yes.
Yes, absolutely. Happy Wednesday. And I'm sorry, normally I'm supposed to be in the house, but I just had to pull over so I can be on time. Want to make sure that we're punctual and on time. And I want to apologize to everyone because we did not get a chance to make the show. So I just pulled over when I could, and thank God I did. And we are on. So
Yes.
yes. So
Well,
let's get it cracking. Go ahead.
right. So let's let everybody know this is the Compromise and Communication Show.
Yes.
It's a relationship show, and we're going to be talking about relationships of all kinds,
Yes.
whether it be workplace, aging parents, family, friends, all kind of different kind of relationships, and also relationships with your kids, which you have to have, and you can't try to
You
be their
better have
friends
that.
either.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You
but you do
absolutely
have to have
better have.
a good working relationship with them and an understanding with the kids also, even though
Of
they
course.
kids. Yes.
Absolutely. Okay, so
Okay.
the first okay, so the first topic we're going to be talking about is something that really is a lot of people are experiencing, and one of those topics that is a deep experience for me is the workplace and basically women in the workplace. So
Okay.
my experience with women in the workplace, coming I would say coming from Chicago, it's been pretty good with women in the workplace, but being in Dallas, it is different for me. And I can't, and I have to say, and I'm sorry, folks, for us putting us on blast, but I have to say, black women in the workplace. Black women in the
Okay.
workplace, I have experienced phenomenal relationships when I was living in when I was living in Dallas, when I was living in Chicago, and
Okay.
in
Did it get
Atlanta, it was
worse?
great too. Yes, in the workplace. So, have
Okay.
you guys experienced and please chime in. What have been your experience, you being an African American female with other African American women, being a woman in the workplace? I noticed that men get along very well with each other in the workplace. But for me, being in the South, I don't know if it's just something with the South or maybe it's me. I have found a lot of horrific things in the workplace dealing with African American women, and I
Okay.
wanted to stop. So I'll tell you my situation, and if somebody can relate to this, wow, that would be just excellent. So
Okay.
my situation in the workplace has been wow. So I used to work for a corporation, and I worked for them before going to my other corporation for almost 5 years. I love what I do, and what I do is I'm a recruiter for colleges, and I love it. And
Okay.
so me being a recruiter for college, I work with a lot of savvy and intelligent black women, and
Okay.
that I love. But what I didn't love is it only takes one, and that one could round up a bunch of clannish sisters and they can attack, not knowing all the information. And I hate that because if
Okay.
someone told me in the workplace about another sister, even if this is a white woman, another woman, that's between y'all two. Don't put me in that.
Right.
I won't say it necessarily like that, but I would change the topic very quickly. And I have done that before. Man, Vanessa, she did, she that. I changed that subject really quick because I want a positive work environment. But what I have found in Dallas, it's been very hard for me. I can't say for anyone else. With a positive work environment with Black women. Now, the thing is with me, I'm a very happy person, very cheerful. So a lot of times people don't know how to take my energy, and I get
Okay.
it. But what I don't get about Black women in the workplace is it's this competition. And look, I love competition. So if we're in
Okay.
competition, I like that because, dang, I feed off of that. I'm a Leo. So me
Okay.
being a Leo and me being a competition, that just rules in my blood. So I love that. But
Okay.
I don't have competition to the point to where I'm stabbing people in the back, I'm hurting people, and I'm causing people serious problems in the workplace. So
You think it
that
should be
was
like
happening to me.
a friendly competition and just
Yes, I love that. So if it's like, okay, our goal setting to get students enrolled, if it's like, okay, I have 20 students, you have 20 students. So let's
okay.
all, I'm going to shoot you. Okay, you got 22. I'm going to go. In my mind, if our goal is 20, I'm shooting for 30. Because if I'm shooting for 30, I know I'm going to get my 20. So that's positive competition in the workplace. You know how it is. But
Oh,
with these women, oh God. So one began to get jealous because my productivity started to rise as good as her. Now this is what I didn't understand,
mm-hmm.
Darin. This woman was phenomenal. This woman was excellent. This woman had everybody really giving her accolades. So
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to be her. I was just trying to be the best me I can be.
Right.
And I looked up to this woman. So even though I looked up to this woman, even though I thought we had a good relationship, and then here's the sickening part. We used to pray together at work, right?
Really.
But let me tell you something. That's how people get in your business. You see what I'm saying? So people, you would think they're trying to pray with you,
Mm-hmm.
Pray, but they Prey.
EY. Whoa.
Yes, pray. So
Oh.
she was trying to find out my business, but see, I didn't have no business though.
Okay.
My business was I want to pray for my family. I want to pay for this. I'm trying to get these things
She wants
together.
some
You
more
know what I mean?
personal details about what was going on with you
Well, I
and
didn't have much. I'm a very open person. So because I'm open, I just didn't have a lot of, I don't have drama in my life. So I don't really have nothing to give like that. Like I can't say she had a truckload of drama in her
oh,
life, but I don't tell people business like that. You see what I mean? So when she was looking at me in the workplace, and then I'm trying to do my numbers up. So my thing was, I remember praying about getting a car. I live in Dallas. Oh my God, how I'm gonna get a car? How I'm gonna do this? Oh God, how I'm gonna get a rental property? When
okay.
I left Chicago because my other job, International Academy, they shut down. So when they shut
Whoa.
down, guess what happened? I lost my job. I couldn't keep it up. I was up for eviction. So I moved to
Oh
another
my.
state. Yeah, it was crazy
Mm-hmm.
because I had to move to another state so I wouldn't get, evicted. And then so I got work real quick. Thank you, Texas. So I was telling her about that, and
Okay.
then me having a car, and then God was just blessing. I was getting everything that I wanted for myself to evolve.
Okay.
And, her situation was kind of getting a little. So, but I was, praying positively in different things. So what happened was, I guess, I don't know, she started telling people that when we go out to lunch, that I was talking about her.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So my question is, when you're at work, you cannot connect with these women because, when we up here praying, we up here eating, we up here talking. She telling me about her husband and her kids,
Mm-hmm.
and we up here praying about that. And I'm thinking, I got a friend.
Yeah.
Nah. She's going back telling people, oh, Leah's talking about you. She said this about you, so she can raise
Really?
her trust with the bosses in the company.
By
You see what
trying
I'm
to be a
saying?
snitch.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the thing is, none of that was going on for me. I'm just trying to be the best human being I can be. But for her, oh boy, that was a totally off the topic. It was disgusting. It was
Okay.
insulting. Mhm.
Whoa.
So basically, this chick was, basically out to get me, and she did. My life was a living hell. I got sick at work because of this woman.
What kind of things was she doing or whatever that
Okay,
you could
let me
tell
tell you
that
the things she was doing.
it
She was
wasn't
telling my
just something
boss.
happening in the
She
workplace,
was,
but she was kind of targeting you?
yeah, she was talking about me to multiple bosses, and the bosses was treating me horribly because of that. I mean, when I say bad, it was god awful, and um, it was just sickening.
Was it a lot of
Um,
were they bringing you in the office to talk to you, or was it
yes,
more
yes,
work?
I'll never
Or
forget this. I went on a trip, and I had got sick, right?
okay,
And I had a doctor's note for my sinuses. And while I was out, I mean, I was feeling terrible. At the time, my boyfriend was like, "Look, you sick because of work," and I was like, "No, I'm not." He's like, "Look, I'm gonna fly you out to Vegas." So he flew me out to Vegas. My doctor wrote me a slip to be off work for 3 days, and I spent 3 days in Las Vegas. And let me
okay,
tell you, when I say I felt better, I felt better. Oh my God.
okay,
So when I came back from work, I had called my boss because my flights were delayed and it was
okay,
a mess. So I called her and said, "Hey, I'm gonna be late." I called her, left a message on the work machine at 12 midnight, and plus text her at 12 midnight to let her
okay,
know that the flights had changed and I'm gonna have to be on a later flight and I will be coming in at 10 and
okay.
10 in the morning, but coming in straight from work because I had my luggage. So the lady told everybody in the office that I wasn't sick and that I lied just to go on vacation.
Really?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So you
That's
see what I'm
crazy.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, that was crazy, and I'm like,
Hmm.
"What are you talking about?" I said, "So a doctor's gonna risk his licensing to lie about me being sick?" And I said, "How
Yeah.
I choose to heal myself is my business. Whether I heal in Dallas or heal in Vegas, you have no right." Hi, everybody. We're talking about black women in the workplace and how they can be evil and conniving to each other, and we as sisters need to be together instead of be against each other. Have you all had problems in the workplace with black women, being a black woman, or even being a black male? It's sad
Right.
because I'm just talking about my experiences in the workplace with that. Well, because of that, I had got very sick at my job. I did, and it was terrible. I got sick because the environment was making me sick.
Yeah.
And they did a report recently saying that a bad boss can get their whole their workers sick. They did reports on this, and the
Okay.
woman was influenced. I mean, when I tell you, I had one of the worst bosses, the worst treatment. They was stealing
uh,
production from
uh,
me.
I don't know. Me and you may have a little talk off on this one because I've had some interesting supervisors, some interesting things happening. So we'll talk
Yeah,
about this one.
probably so. Yeah, but oh man, it was a nightmare for me.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah. So that's the thing. So definitely I would say that with me, and then like even now, so I'm glad that I got out of that situation. But even
Mm-hmm.
even at the other place of work, I had gotten into an incident. I gave my coworker some flowers because I
Okay.
was wrong in the incident. Well, what happened? I was wrong with how I addressed the issue. I'll say that, but I
Okay.
wasn't wrong with what I said because I felt like it was another messy situation where this woman was basically embarrassing me publicly in front of my boss, in front of coworkers, like
Okay.
for it was been going on for 2 weeks straight. So I'm like, shoot, if she can embarrass me in front of my boss, in front of my coworkers I don't care about, boss I do, making me look incompetent, she's taking food out of my child's mouth and my mouth.
Right.
So I'm like, you know what, she got one more time to do this. And so my one more time was me being very verbally brutal at the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated that I had to do that, but dang, it was just really tough. But I apologized. I gave her flowers. Now, the funny thing about that is me giving her flowers, you would have thought that would have healed everything.
Mm-hmm.
$40
Solve
bouquet
nothing.
at that. I said, as big as my anger was going to be, I'm going to make them flowers that big. So I gave my coworker the flowers because I argued with her. I wasn't mad about what I said.
Were you
But, go ahead.
always having problems when you first started there? Or
No, not at all. No, not at
when
all.
you start excelling
Wait,
at the
say it again?
position? When you start excelling at the position?
Yeah, it
Okay.
seems like that. When you get noticed, that's when the problems start. But the thing is, this girl is one of the best in the company. So it's funny how, yeah, like, she's excellent at what she does. So I don't understand why these excellent women that are amazing at what they do. I mean, she dressed nice. She's an older woman. That's what I don't excuse. Like, this woman, you know, is in her 60s. She's got it going on. Why are you picking at me at work and you in your 60s? Woman, you're supposed to be mentoring me, not knocking on me.
Right.
So, and see, the thing about black women in the workforce, I'm starting, like, not wanting to work with them. and sad, because I'm a sister myself. And it's like, I'm just sick of it. So I'm like, shoot, if I have to leave positions, I want to see if I can work around a bunch of white folks, just so I can know that my conscience and my mind and my psyche can be safe. And I just believe all of this stems from slavery.
Do you think that's the answer, to work with a different nationality?
You know what your answer is? Peace of mind. And whatever's going to give you peace, you do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm all for that. I want to connect with my sisters. I want to be there for my sisters. But I'm going to tell you something. If it's a bunch of evil, demonic, crazy black women on the job, guess who's not going to work around you?
Right.
Because I have got to be in an area where my mind is right and I am healthy, spiritually healthy, mentally healthy, emotionally healthy. And if working around black women cannot give me that, I don't want to work around them.
Right.
And that's sad to say, because I am very unified. I love my sisters. I want to work with my sisters. And when I was in Chicago, I had very good relationships with black women in the office. And it was a unified situation. It was like good, healthy competition. And we loved on each other and we respected each other. You know, there was times where sometimes we get on our nerves, but it's family. It was basically family. Sometimes, you know, at work, it's like family. Some of them folks get on your nerves. Some of them you cool with. You know, it can go back and forth, but it was a blessing. But in Dallas, I don't know about these sisters.
Don't they supposed to have the Southern hospitality and stuff going down there? What happened with all of that?
I don't understand it. And the thing is that what can we do to bring positive images in the workplace where we can unify? I've never experienced anything like this. So my thing is that what I tell people, you don't owe nobody anything but peace of mind and being the best human being that you can be. Hey Kim, hey Holly, hey Gloria, hey Ruth. You don't owe nobody anything but to be your highest and greatest self. Hey Al, hey Norvell. We're talking about black women in the workplace, and I'm having trouble with that. That how we, you know, what's going on with us? What's going on with the sisters where we can't unify? So why can't we unify as black women in the workplace? And I'm saddened by that. because
Anything
you
jumped
should
out?
unify with black women in the workplace.
What
And I
thing other
find it
national?
hard for me to do that in Texas, not in Chicago. The
Not
sisters was
not to
good.
cut you off, but what other
Country
things do
Walls,
you?
I don't know what it is. I mean, it's a nightmare. I have to honestly say
What
that.
other things do you think the other nationalities are doing?
I think they had the confidence already. And
Okay.
I think that with blacks, we, it says, why would you call coworkers? That's it. That's why they call coworkers.
Oh,
I
that's
heard
my
that,
cousin.
Jackie. Yes.
Oh,
But
look
the
at
thing
her. Would
is
you
that
stop,
this is the
Jack?
funny part, Jackie. But see, right. But see, here's the thing. I'm at my job more than I'm at home with my own child. So I
Right.
feel like
So
because
we
I'm
need to
at,
get along with these people.
we need to get along with each other. I
Yes.
mean, man, we need to get along with each other.
They
And
like
it seems
significant
like,
others.
yes,
We
we need
see
to
them
get along with each
sometimes more
other.
than the husband or wife or
Right.
boyfriend or
And I
girlfriend.
just think that other nationalities don't have the struggles that black people do to prove themselves consistently in the workplace. So it's a struggle for them. And for me,
Mm.
but see, I have confidence within me. My confidence comes from the Christ that lives within me. My confidence comes from my work
Whoa.
ethic. My
Oh.
confidence comes from my self awareness of who I am,
Mm-hmm.
and who I am is bigger than the workplace. And I have
Oh,
an obligation to not only myself, but to God to be the best human being I can be and to share love and to give positive vibes when I walk
okay.
in the door. And because, see, I'm going to be held accountable for that if I don't.
Yeah. Because
So, that's the whole thing. Hey, Gloria. Yep. And yes, and get along and be supportive. So my thing is, it don't matter what nationality you are. I'm gonna love on you, and I want to love on my sisters. But my thing is, me having these issues. It's just been insane. Like who would
mm-hmm.
shoot you down after an argument and you give them flowers in a car and you spend your money and your time and you tell them you apologize and they still acting rude and mean and vicious. I never heard of that in my
Yeah.
life. Shoot, somebody give me flowers for forgiveness. That conversation is over with. We can move on, and do things positive in the workforce. So I didn't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so enough with that. Okay, so yeah, so I want to thank you guys because you all have really shined in this conversation here. So what's next on the roster on this?
Oh,
Oh gosh,
thank you,
yeah,
host.
but
Um, can two people
yeah, 'cause
from different backgrounds make it work in a relationship? Different religious
with two
backgrounds.
people of religion backgrounds. Oh yes, okay, so this is a very good topic. Um, to say that can two people from different religion backgrounds have a quality relationship? Woo! I've experienced this,
It's
and
that's a
it was
lot.
a no for me. It was a definite no for me.
Okay.
Oh
Wow.
God, it was a no for me because I was dating someone who was of Islamic faith, and then I
Okay.
am a hardcore Christian, and it
Okay.
just did not work. It
No.
didn't work. No, no. And the thing is that when you talk about religion, that is very personal, deep convictions and beliefs. And
Okay.
if you don't have those same convictions that the other person have, it can pose to be a problem. Now, me and this gentleman, we had the dieting thing down pat because why? I don't eat pork.
Okay.
And, shrimp, after me finding out about what shrimps really are, I was like, oh, no. I'm all good on that,
Okay.
and it was just other things. So I was fine with those aspects for sure.
Okay.
But it was other things with how they view women, and we just had a lot of disagreements with that.
Okay.
Now, I will say this: there's nothing wrong with a
And
woman.
don't the Muslims have a great perspective on women, or what you didn't like about their perspective on
It
women, or his
depends on
perspective?
what type of part of Islam that they practice. Because there's different levels to Islam, and there's
Yeah.
different belief systems in that. And whichever belief system that they have, then that's the one that they really hold on to.
Okay.
And some of them are very strict, and some of them are dealing with polygamy and other things. So because of that, um, and because of me having a relationship with someone who,
Okay.
after I found out, had those core beliefs in that, I had to jump out of it.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's
So,
understandable.
because somebody's gonna fold. You're either gonna fold to my Christian beliefs, or I'm gonna fold to your Islamic beliefs. To me, I mean,
Okay. You don't think you can be as one and still have the background of your religious upbringing and things of that
it
nature?
didn't work for me. It was a no for me. But for somebody
Okay.
else, I mean, if they can respect that person's beliefs, if it don't get on their nerves so much,
Mm-hmm.
like I didn't mind the prayer. I thought that was beautiful. Like waking up and doing your prayers at those different hours, I was like, it takes discipline and it takes honor. It made me into a better Christian.
Okay.
Actually, it did. It's
Okay.
a lot of things that he did that made my Christianity better. You know,
Mm-hmm. And that's the good thing about
it was
multiple religions. They all bring different stuff to the table.
to the table.
And
Mhm.
yeah, and I think that's it's
Yeah.
kind of like what hip hop is, where
Yes.
all these
Yeah.
different things all mesh together and make the other one
Mhm.
stronger and stuff like that, because they have
Yeah.
different things that they do
Yes.
differently, and like the Buddhists chant and do other things. All of that stuff has different kind of power, so that's why it's
Well,
a
here's the
lot.
thing. Now, I got to, keep in mind, I'm a solid Christian. I respect other people's religions out of respect, but I have different belief systems and relationship to that. And because I'm so one sided on that,
Okay.
I just shut a lot of that stuff down.
Okay.
Because what I did as a young, and I have to blame my mom for this, she's so intelligent. My mom raised thinkers in her household.
Okay.
So I didn't just read a book and just say, boom, that's it, that's all. I'm going to be a Christian because I'm believing this one book. That wasn't me. What
Okay.
I did was I studied a lot. I studied Buddhism. I
Really?
studied Islam. I studied the Egyptology and the stuff and the Metu Neter. I studied these things. I studied
Mm-hmm.
chanting and yoga. I studied these
Okay.
things. And what I found from the root of this, it didn't work for me. I can't say for anyone else, and not putting
Okay.
anyone else down, but the core of all of it, and I just leave it up to the person to study and observe on their own. So not
Okay.
putting it down, because if I say what I found, it's going to sound as if I'm putting someone's culture down, and I don't want to do that on here.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say study, study, study. And
Study.
what I
Yeah.
did was I researched a lot.
Okay.
And one thing that was undeniable for me, and God did this on purpose, was when I wasn't a Christian for a long time. I'll just say that I went to church with my grandmother. She's responsible for me having a church life, but
Okay.
I was really into the Egyptology for a long time.
Were you?
Studying that. Yeah, I was one of the hotels
Okay.
for a long time. Um, I mean, I was really involved with that in reading the Metu Neter and doing astrology. Like I remember, I used to when I was 21, I used to read people's charts.
Because
I'm serious.
some pastors
Yeah,
think astrology and numerology is witchcraft. So don't they kind of conflict
boom,
with some of them?
boom, boom. Now here's the thing: astrology is not. I'm going to be honest with you. Astrology is not witchcraft, and I'm going to tell you why it's not. It's not to me, from my observation, it's not witchcraft because it's everywhere. It is the science of the stars, and it's a map.
Right.
It's a grid. All astrology is God's grid on planet Earth. Now, here's where it gets satanic. If you don't include the element of Christ and God in it. Now,
Okay.
if you read the book of Enoch, okay, astrology is all in that. Because the 12 tribes of Israel in the 12 what? Astrological signs. You got to read the book of Enoch, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. It talks about that. And God acknowledged astrology a lot in the Bible. See, the problem is they don't include the books of Enoch. And there's so many other books in the Bible that's not included because they don't want us to have the higher intelligence because it keeps us worker bees.
Right.
And that knowledge is for the elite so they can keep rising and going up.
Rising. Yeah.
And moving higher. But astrology is not witchcraft.
Do you think some
what is
Do you think some of the
witchcraft?
ministers are trying to keep that information from the people too?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Why you think a lot of them are going into Freemasonry? In order for a lot of these pastors, they are Freemasons.
Okay.
And then they betting on the wrong team.
Right.
They are. Because at the end of Freemasonry, when you look at it, it goes straight deep into something called a Kabbalah.
Gotcha.
And you're dealing with the Knights Templar. And you go read. That's all I got to say. Don't take somebody's word for what they say. You got to read.
Research.
And
right.
You got to read and research. And the thing is, what's making astrology evil is when people solely depend on that and they don't acknowledge the Christ consciousness and Elohim within that, knowing that this is what he made, and acknowledge the Trinity. You cannot have the Father without the Son, without the Holy Spirit. It's a no-go. How do I know that, Leah? How do you know this? Because of the Holy Ghost. When you get baptized, you partake in something called the Holy Spirit.
Okay.
You do.
Yep.
Now, because I was baptized and I knew what I was doing consciously at 10, that's what woke me up. Because what happened, I was living so horribly. I was doing so much stuff. And I was calling on all these different gods, doubt, ma, and all this stuff because I wasn't a Christian. And I was asking for blessings from them. Oh, help me throughout this. Help me, ancestors,
Right.
And I'm going to tell you something. I got drugged through the mud on that. And then I didn't really have any consciousness. So because of me going into the Hotep stuff and doing all the gods and all this, I had no accountability of behavior. Because it was my way and my way only. You see what I mean?
Okay.
So I know this sounds weird, but a lot of times the people that are doing that, they're just all over the place, and that's how I was. I was all over the place with that mess. So, I mean, for me, it was like that. I can't say for anyone else.
You know a lot about a lot of different things, so that's a lot.
Because I was well read. And you got to think, I read the Metu Netter at 13. I read, both books. And they had the tarot card deck. So I'm going to tell you something. When I tell you I know my stuff, I'm not joking around.
I see.
I'm not. And I did all of this very early in understanding charts, understanding astrology, understanding nodes, and understanding planet alignment and movements. At 21, I was good. And I was beginning to go into areas that, thank God I didn't go. It was very esoteric. So, and so what happened was the higher I got up, the worse I felt like nothing. I felt nothing. I felt desperate, and my life began to crumble.
Really?
And I wasn't happy. I wasn't satisfied. So this is what I did. I had a battle, and I had it by myself, shacking up in the house with a dude at the time.
Okay.
So I said, God, here's what you're going to do, because it seemed like my life is gone to the pits of hell for some reason. I said, you're going to have to
Mm-hmm.
reveal yourself to me and show me what's real. So I laid them
Okay.
all out. I called out on doubt. I did. I called out on ISIS. I called all that out. I'm like, y'all got to show me and reveal yourselves to me. The
Okay.
moment I called on the Holy Ghost, now we talking.
Thanks for watching Compromising Communication Show. We'll see you guys next week, next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Thank you guys for watching. And remember, the compliments come from confidence. So make sure that every day you uplift someone with your positive wordplay. Keep it East Side, Oakland, yada.